All right, testing one, two. Let's check in on all the networks here. Let's see. We are getting the video started on Facebook. Not up yet. Let's see what's going on here. We are live. Welcome YouTube. Welcome Kick. Welcome Twitch and Facebook. Welcome Facebook. We are live. This is the Sam Crescent Art Show featuring me, Sam Crescent. Let's get this party started. This is a drawing illustration show. This is a show where I have been working on my comic book Strength Monsters, as well as a number of other projects every single day. I do it live right now, and we're going to get it going now. It is already Wednesday, May 27th, 2027, and what a crazy week. Things are just happening, going by so fast. Now, we're going to work on this cube rotation animation. I'm getting closer to completing the first part of it, but I'm going to continue to probably animate a number of elements on this animation. And right now I'm going to start animating this head here. Which what I've decided actually about it is that, yeah, it's fine. Let's start the process of rotating this head. So we want to start, I'm going to rotate this head forward slightly now. And we want to be on our pen tool. Let's see here. We're going to rotate this head forward. So tilt it here. Instead of being here, maybe we'll bring it to, well, we'll still have it at the upshot, but we're going to bring it down there now. And let me see here. What was I going to talk about today? I got to start working on my Zombie Command again, because that game's got to start getting play tested right away. Seeing we can do that. That's not what we want. Now I'm just redoing what I did already. So we're looking to bring things down here. Bring this head forward a little bit. Something around there. So let's fix this up somewhat. We're going to have this here. So we're going to have this going like that. All right, now let's fix this crosshairs. Bring it up here. Come to there. Okay. Oops. Didn't mean to change color. I've got to get some braille on my keyboard so I don't have to look at it. I can just feel around it while I'm working, and I can just keep my fingers on the I can just keep my fingers on the keyboard here. I'm going to set that up soon, actually. There's always things I can do to set up to improve the live stream and improve my workflow and productivity. And that is definitely one is to, definitely one of them is to, get some braille on my keyboard. I can just feel for the eraser and feel for the pen and not look down to make sure I'm on it, because I still have to look. I have to look down, and I'm starting to realize how that's actually kind of slowing me down and causing a problem for me. It's 5:31 a.m. on Wednesday, January. No, not Jan. We're not in January. January. We're not in June yet either. We are in May. We are in the month of May. It is coming to a close. Summer's about to be in full force. Today I'm gonna do the live stream super early here. I probably need to start it even earlier. Eventually, I'd like to start these streams at like around 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll work on that, getting the streams going at 4 a.m. And the reason why is just so I can squeeze more into the day. Now, I do have to reprint a t-shirt today. I'm going to be reprinting my Beware Bear t-shirt, which is a shirt that has been out of stock for some time. So I'm going to be getting that one back on the press. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm still working on the old press. I still feel like I'm very much fighting my equipment constantly with the screen printing. And the new press will be here Friday, but it's cutting it very close to Phoenix Fan Fusion, which is next week. And so, there we go. That's a better nose shape. I'm like trying to get a good nose shape in there. Just wasn't happening for me. And just keep redrawing your shape until you're satisfied. Basically, is what you need to do. What I did. There we go. Chin shape. Mouth. Now that's kind of a sad mouth. Let's kind of just make it a neutral mouth. There. Ear there. It's kind of not the ear we want. We go through here. Okay, now that's way too high. We want this ear to come through that X down and around. There we go. And then inside these eyes, we can put the robot looking eyeball, and then you can put in the shape of the eye right here. There we go. If we wanted, we could put in top plane of the head there. So I believe we've moved that forward. Yeah, we have. We've moved the head forward just a slight amount. And we'll continue to move the head down now with each frame. Okay, so let's go to the next frame here. And let's see, we've completed the rotation of this, I believe, here now. No, I turned off my underlayer. Let's put that on. So we have more stuff happening here. So now this one's going to be here. I'm going to need to figure out the constraints for that. Correct. The reason that it doesn't look right is because it's not correct. That's actually where we want it. Let's pull this across here. Let's erase this. Marquee that. Move it to here. Now, yeah, that's good. Get this next box in here. Not bad. And now we're going to rotate this guy down even further. So let's go with this one. This line's going to now change planes to here. Coming forward more. Okay. Let's get this ball put in there, something around there. Okay. Fix that. Take this out. It's actually still in the wrong location. Maybe up here more. That. Still wrong. Let's just, for some reason it's not happening for me right there. So let's get it, fix it here. One last shape on there. There we go. Maybe. Like this nose needs to go down even a little more than that. I'm just having a hard time with my head mannequin still. I mean, that's why I'm doing this exercise though, is because I need to get these head mannequins down better than what I'm currently doing. Just not that good at them. This needs to be lowered a little bit, I feel like. Yeah, that's better. We now have this head coming forward towards us. Oops. Got a spinning thing here. Save that. Boom. Yeah, let's take a look at this here. See how it's doing. Good. It's starting to rotate forward. All right, that's pretty good. Let's just adjust some volumes, and then that'll be it for this today. I don't want this to take up the entirety of the day. So we're going to start here, and I'm going to just focus on this box. So let's marquee this. And let's make it so that it... Wrong layer. Turn that one off. Okay, so we're starting on this box here. And let's marquee this. Make it a little bigger. And we're going to place it. Okay, we're going to say right there is where it's going to be. So nothing's going to go below that. So for this one, that's correct. We'll make it a bit bigger though. And essentially, if I turn it this way, it should be about the same volume. And we'll turn it back. To right where it was. That's not where it was. It was here. And so we don't want it to go outside there. So that's good. So we're just gonna try and make this box the same volume. Whoops. As all the other boxes. See, that one's a little small. We'll bring this in size to, so it's very much the same size. And then we'll just rotate it. That's what I should have been doing, but I was also doing a drawing exercise, so it's okay. Now see how that's coming out above there? I don't know if I want that to happen, but let's see here. That is the box right there. That's the size of it. So we'll stick with that right there. And again, let's see here where we are with the volume. Very good. That's actually really close to the same size. put there. We want the point to be on this line. So like right there. So a little bit more. There. Next one. Wait, what the heck? Okay. That's good. It's basically the same volume. I'm going to have that there. It's going to go there. What would be really useful, I should do this, is I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go pin. And I'm going to actually find the center of this box. So we'll go like this. We'll go here. Draw 2 lines here. So now we know that there's a center of that box. And that's what it needs to be spinning around. That should help. So now I go to here. And that's going to change where this thing goes. So now, if that's the center, it needs to go there. Oops, and we need to draw the center of this. Now we've got, this is going to fix this big time, because now we'll have this thing actually rotating how it's supposed to. Around a center point. We go there and there. We are still in the center. Let's make sure this is the same volume. It is. There we go. Now see how this box just jumped up? So this is stuff that I'm learning about animation that I wasn't really paying attention to as well as I should have, is making little markers and ticks like this to keep your drawing in the right location. So that one's off a little bit. Let's move it to where it's supposed to go. Basically this right spot. And so now I can see how my box really started to drift. Started to really drift over time to the wrong location. Let's see, get that there. This one's needs to be a little bit bigger. Want to make sure these things are the right volume here. And now we are tilted this way. I'll just keep it on the center. Tilt a little bit more. Yeah. Should be. Maybe right about there. I'm going to have to move this thing down. And I'm thinking that this box probably drifted up somewhere at some point. I'm going to move it down there. Oops, we got to get that marker. Now look at where that one's gone to. So let's get this here. So it's diagonal there. Let's see. Right there. Okay. I'll correct this box later. We're just going to move it for now. Oops, I got to get that center marker on here or we just won't know where we're going here. A little bit big. See, we changed the volume just slightly. No, we gotta rotate that some more. Should be more about there. Okay. Yeah, that definitely needs to go further. So I'll fix that one. Now we just jumped the box up a size. So we'll fix it here. And see how much larger this box is. Do one more, and then I'm gonna stop doing this because it's. I mean, I think I'm up to 22 frames right now, and it'll take over the day's work. Been doing this for 30 minutes. I'm kind of working a little slow. Stop there. Let's save that. Yeah, I see that box is like spinning right in place and then it starts moving around. So definitely I've got to have a guide, and then the mannequin's starting to look kind of cool. All right, let's get on with this. I'm skipping Bridgman today. I'm gonna just get into the drawing because there's so much to do. Forgot to open up the chat, the unified chat. So let's get that opened up here. The YouTube ones. All right, got the social stream chat up. So if anybody sends me a message, I'll be able to read it. All right, everybody, let's see here. We've got to draw some characters into this page. It's almost done. I've been putting it off, though. We've got Baby Monkey that we've got to put in here. No. It's 5:58 good. I'm on the Strength Monsters page before 6 a.m. Do you feel like a little bit of slacker because I'm not working the zombie command? But we'll get there. I mean, I have a bunch of new t-shirts that I want to make. And I've been stuck in this mode of perpetually remaking the same shirts because they keep selling out. That's great that they keep selling out, but I think I would be doing better if I was making new stuff, if I had more new stuff. Actually kind of want to switch this here. Ugh. I really got to get this keyboard fixed so that I have some braille on it because it is it's driving me crazy. I'm gonna go on Amazon and just see if they have like an option for okay, I don't know what I did there or why I did it, but that looks terrible. No. All right, how do we go with that? Yes, it's very much inspired by Bane to have this little guy with these like canisters and stuff attached to him, because it's like the character Bane in Batman. It's like he's got the Venom serum that gives him his strength, but it has to be, you know, he's got it hooked up so it's like constantly coursing through him. It's an awesome concept. And that's kind of the concept of this little guy. You know? Except this doesn't give him strength, it just keeps him from turning into a zombie. Keeps him he's half zombie, half not. Some straps there. Would like it if I had to correct my lines a little bit less often. Now for his hand, his thumb is here. It's going to be there. Let's be like that. Now I'm trying to think if I want to draw more of it, I would have to move him up slightly. Somewhere around there. Yeah, I think I've got to get a little more efficient with how I draw some of these little cartoon characters. I need to practice them more so they're just even more second nature to me. There was a standalone Batman comic book that used to exist in the 90s. I forgot what I think it was called Legends of the Dark Knight. And that's where the Venom story first originated from, where Batman, in the story, he essentially comes across this serum that gives him super strength like steroids, but it also makes him kind of insane and mad and overtakes his mind like roid raging. And so he eventually has to get himself off of the Venom, and he does. And then later, the Bane character is a villain that came about that, you know, you hook the Venom up to himself through like an IV system, constantly pumping it through him. And so Venom always has this like superhuman strength and stuff. Or Bane, I mean. And so that's kind of what gave me the idea about this baby monkey. But the idea is that this serum that courses through his veins that he's got hooked up to himself at all times. It's not it does not give him super strength. It just keeps him from becoming a zombie. Like he actually is a zombie, and this is the serum that transforms you back from zombie the antidote, and this antidote has to constantly course through him so that he doesn't go full zombie. That's essentially the deal with him. He's a cool little character, if you ask me. But that's also because I created him. All right, we've got baby monkey. We're gonna finish all the characters today. Let's flat the baby monkey here. Flats baby. And on this, selection invert. Just make him like the brownish, grayish color. A little more there. A little more there. Nah. It doesn't matter if this isn't the color he's going to be. It's just a placeholder. All right, so now we've got to get this guy. And this is going to be new folder. Going to be P3. And let's get one inside. I'm hoping that I'll set up the traditional art stream this weekend. I'll get it to do it. I've got to get it set up on the laptop, the Predator laptop. What just happened? It's weird. Okay. And now I got to use my Bridgman knowledge and make some cool looking hands here. But we can do that because we've been studying Bridgman, even though we're not looking at Bridgman today. We did look at it yesterday. And we can take that information that we had, you know, how he ramps these fingers and does all this kind of cool stuff. And we can use it for what we're doing, and kind of does this shape. There. Now this finger, I want this one to come out a little bit more, since that is the pointer. I mean the middle finger, the gesture finger. Let's fix that a little bit. So yes, I'm just inventing this hand on the fly, although I do have my original sketch that I did. And what if we kind of, the Bridgman study yesterday, kind of this one went like that. That was kind of an interesting choice. So we'll do a similar thing there. I don't want to turn it that far. We'll do that though. It's kind of cool. Give him the fingernails there. Give him a little bit of side plane rendering like how Bridgman does. And we have the interosseous muscle, and then we're going to have this thumb. We could even do kind of a Bridgman foreshortened thumb like that right there. Now, I would not have ever thought of that thumb shape had I not been looking at Bridgman every day. And today I'm not looking at Bridgman, which I should punish myself for that, because I should be looking at Bridgman every day. But I'm going, man, we got to finish some work. I spent too much time on my animation, and I can't draw a circle right now. And I haven't been drawing my circles. I also felt like I kind of stagnated on that, and I wasn't sure got to start thinking more about what I can do so that I can draw these circles more accurately. If I go slower with the wrist, go faster with the arm, ghost and lay, visualize and throw, box, and inside, it just feels like my circles are not getting better. They're not getting perfect. Like, what could I do so I can draw a perfect circle every time whenever I wanted it? I'll look that up. Maybe on YouTube. Maybe there's somebody out there that's got an idea about that. You know? Because in the quest to become a god tier level illustrator, it's like every little skill, you know, I've talked about skill and craft. And so when you're overwhelmed with the craft, start breaking down the skills. Okay, well, skills for drawing. Let's draw basic shapes. Let's be able to manipulate and rotate them. Let's be able to understand how they work in space and perspective and everything. And let's be able to draw them perfectly, accurately, and precisely every time. What I'm learning, though, is like, I'm doing the animation project, is if I don't use tickers and markers and set things up, volumes and proportions will just, they're going to drift. They're going to change. The eye is going to deceive you. My eye will deceive me. And it won't stay as consistent as it should. And why have I adjusted this pipe this many times? Is it really this important that I continue to adjust the pipe? And yes, it is, because now I've got it looking the right way, the way that I want it to be. He's got fur, comes off his face here. His nose is bigger than what it normally is. Let's turn on P1. See here. We got this guy here. Yeah, his nose is usually not that large. Let's kind of shrink it down a little bit. He does have this brow thing happening most of the time. I'll kind of put in some just little tick marks here and there to indicate all the fur coming off of him. To draw another hand, but let's finish off this head here. I always put it kind of like an ear indication there. Glasses coming back. All right, that guy looks pretty cool. No. There we go. Got some sheen on those glasses. Now, this is not going to be tilted that way unless I tilt this whole head. So, let's stick with what we're doing originally, and I'll tilt this head back so that it lines up with the... Oh, and that's more interesting. And it keeps the composition intact. Remove all this. So there we go. Let's see how this little guy's doing here. Yes, yes, I like it. All right, we got another hand here. And again, we're going to try to use our Bridgman knowledge that we've been studying on these hands and ramp these things down, indicate cool knuckles. Okay, there's this shape that Bridgman does a lot for his fingers where he kind of makes the pad of the finger around and then he points it, brings it up. And you end up with something like that. That's kind of cool. Let's just kind of clean this up. But I think we're designing better looking hands and stuff as a result of the Bridgman studies. Now we've got one more coming out here. And we're not going to cockeye that quite so far that way. Let's kind of put it more there. So that's pretty cool. We've got some pretty cool something happening here. Not even going to show the top of that hand. We just have it coming over this rock. This middle finger is, or pointer is a little bit too big. It's kind of crazy there. Let's kind of shorten it and want to thin this a little bit. Kind of thin that down. Even a little, just a tad more thinner. There we go. Now it's not quite so aggressive. And pretty much the rest of this is going to be pretty simple. We're going to be here. Forearm with some fur coming over. We've got another furry arm there. That's really all we need is just keep things simple. Like that. They're going that way. Let's kind of shoot this up here. And there we go. He's climbing up some rocks, so get this brain put in here. And we'll get the handle of this big gulp cup here, this mug. All right, let's see here. We've been going for almost an hour. Making good progress as we work our way through this. Let's pull up a brain, an image of a brain, and see. I'm looking up here because this is where my internet is. Type in a brain. And let's do images, and I usually just make it up and I make some sort of semblance of a brain, but let's make the brain look a little more brainy since it's closer up shot. And we kind of want to see it from a straight on view. Oh, there's one there that's not bad. So, okay, we'll just kind of do the separation of this here. And we've got this lobe underneath here. And then that'll be good. And then we'll bring it down like that. And just want to look at kind of how some of these segments of the brain move around it. So people will be like, oh, that's a brain. The medulla oblongata. That's from that movie, The Water Boy. Very good movie. I enjoyed that movie back when it came out. But, you know. Now I'll do some like kind of rendering here to give it a little bit of volume and shape. Rendering this here. This is underneath, so we'll give that some stuff. There we go. That's pretty cool. We'll put some stuff there. He's got this this. It's actually what's in here right now is a energy drink that's suspended. His brain is suspended in an energy drink, so he's always got a ton of energy. All right, let's do our outline shape on this guy, and we'll draw these three guys, and all the characters are done on this page, and now we're just dropping in the background basically after that. And so no doubt this page will be able to be completed this week, and getting really close to completing this story. I think there's about maybe 10 pages after this, maybe 8. I think I've got maybe 5. I don't know, because they're parting ways. Then we've got the prologue. I think it's called a prologue, is what happens after. But it's leading to the next story. Yeah, these stories, I've had them for years, decades actually. And I finally have just figured out, like all this time later, like how to arrange my schedule, how to build the habits so that I can finally execute. Just why did it take me so long to figure all this out, you know? One of the number one things that helped me was just training myself to get up super early. And there are times when I would get up as early as like 3:30 in the morning. Now, I've since kind of chilled out a little bit on that because I felt like it was aging me and not necessarily. I don't buy into the narrative that it's just bad for your health right away. I do believe that your physiology can adapt. And my physiology has for sure adapted to early, because I will wake up at 5 a.m. to go to the bathroom every day, pretty much, no matter what time I go to bed, and then I am up. Now, given that I'm going to bed in a sleep before midnight, if I am awake past midnight, we have problems. I can't wake. I can't wake up. I gotta sleep. I usually am going to bed much earlier. I very much want to go to the zoo this summer. It gets really crowded, but it's kind of one of those places where it doesn't really matter that much if you do it the way I do, where I'm just going to like a few animals, posting up there for most of the day, you know. So you just get your spot eventually. If you go to where the animal is, wait your turn, get your spot, and then you just start sketching. And it's not that bad, you know. It's pretty enjoyable. But I haven't been, and it's been a year, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Don't remember. But yeah, I would very much enjoy going back. Let's do a little bit of outlining on the brain. Make it not quite as much as the rest of this guy. That's pretty cool. If I turn off the original sketch, you can't really tell what's going on. I'm wondering if I should put in some of these rocks and such. I'm going to do it because on its own layer, that way I can post the image today on my Instagram and people can see. It'll make a little bit more sense. Like, what the heck is Sam drawing? Like, I don't understand this guy, because people don't know that. Assume that nobody's going to know your vision until they can actually see it. They're just not going to know where you're going with your drawing or what it's going to become. Even these line drawings like this, they don't look that impressive, and people are like, I don't really get this, Sam. Like, not really sure where you're going with it here. And it's like, well, just trust me. It's going to work out. Okay, well, I just did a bunch of detail there on Brain Monkey, and then I was about to attach it to the background. Don't want to do that, so let's merge, select the layers. Brain Monkey. Go back here. Now let's go to pen. All right, let's see if we can get some cool, interesting looking rock shapes here. Let it be do that on the Brain Monkey layer. Get some shadows on this hand, cast it onto the rock, make it look a little bit more like he's grabbing onto this thing. Okay. And I'm just texturing and rendering and just kind of trying to make this look like we've got some rocks coming up here. Get that going all the way through there for now. And let's get some rendering, just grabbing these forms here. Use varying line thicknesses to... Now let's kind of clean up some things that don't look great, like that there we don't want. I think that's pretty good right there. That's pretty cool. That's gonna be P3 background. Let's put in. I'll put in the flats really quick. Just for why not? I don't know if that's gonna work. Let's go selection, invert. And let's make a flat layer. This guy's always purple. Now the question is, we could do that, or I could draw. I wonder if I turn this into his body here. It's gonna look better. Kind of think it does. Looks better. I think I might do that. And then I'd put some rendering lines going down on them. So we go here. Let's see what time. 6:36 a.m. Stock market's just opened. Something like that. No, I'm going to Command Z that. Something like that there. All right, that's cool. So let's make a folder for Brain Monkey so he's all together. And we will put them in there. Let's label this flats. All right. Panel 3 background. Let's do the flats here. Let's label it. It's background rocks. It needs to be its own layer because it's going to parallax. And then we'll do the flats for this. BG rocks. And then let's put a folder for that. BG rocks. Hour 12 minutes we're in on the stream. And we're making some progress on this panel. Just select a gray here. All right, we got those flat colors there, so we kind of see what's going on here. All right, let's get these other characters put into play, as in place. Let's see what we're gonna do here. We're gonna do with these guys. Let's start with some easy ones. We'll work our way to the difficult drawing of Rock King. I'd like to finish the 3 characters here right now so that essentially so that they're just done, you know. When we have all the characters done, then tomorrow I would just do all the background and I will have effectively completed this page. What do I think about this? Is drawing comic book pages the most rewarding part? I mean, I've been spending so much time doing it lately. I don't know, you know? It's kind of like had a dream. I've dreamed since I was a kid to have a comic book series, multiple comic book series, and I've had ideas for multiple comic book series for years. They're not the same ideas as I did when I was a kid, and that's one of the things that I think is a mistake. Is, you know, you see, for example, like I'm just gonna say it, I'm gonna criticize Spawn. I think Spawn is a badass looking character, but as far as a story, a design, and concept, it's pretty weak. There's not much to it. If you're like, give me the personality of Spawn in one word, McFarlane would say badass. No, I'm sorry, man. Badass is not a character archetype or anything. It's like badass. it literally is. I mean, and he's like, oh, he created that character when he was 17, and it still seems like something a 17-year-old would create. It didn't really seem like it evolved much, like into something really great. And I kind of like feel like very confident in my stories. While I've had them in me for a long time, they've evolved further than just what I thought was cool when I was a young kid, you know, and that's a terrible hand. So it's kind of like that, you know. So I do feel that these stories will. The other thing is, I feel like if you have some original stories and just beyond just T-shirts, beyond just stickers, beyond just patches, beyond just one-off designs, beyond just epic screen printed illustrations and everything, if you have some narrative, you know, characters and stories and stuff, I just feel like it rounds out the whole catalog, you know. And that then you have stuff that maybe one day will be made into a movie. Maybe one day I am making it all into a cartoon, but maybe one day it'll be made into a fully produced show or something more than, you know. You have a kind of like that Hail Mary, throwing those a few of those Hail Mary passes that could really, you know, turn into something big, life changing, change the trajectory of your whole family for potentially for generations. You know, if you could pull it off, and well, more than likely it won't, but. At the end of the day, if you don't make your comic, if you don't tell your story, then there's no opportunity at all. You know, so yes, I know that it's the chance of an independently published comic book becoming wildly successful in any capacity, even not even television and movies and stuff, but just becoming a successful, profitable venture as a comic book is extremely difficult, and very few of them ever get there. That's just the reality. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't try, if you don't make it, you have zero chance whatsoever. If you do make it, there is the possibility is there. You know, even though they're like, oh, you know, and the thing is yes, it's, you hear the statistics like back in the day, they'd say making it in the newspaper strip to become a newspaper cartoonist is more difficult than getting into the NBA. Like, there's more spots available for athletes in the NBA than there are spots available for cartoonists to get a strip in the newspaper. Well, now that's, you know, that's completely dead. You know, the newspapers are still being published, they're still read, but they're not. Situation is not what it was decades ago. So now the chances of making it in a comic book is much higher than a newspaper strip. like that there. Really, these guys are small, so it just needs to be the shape indicating what we want it to be. It's not what we want there. Kind of draw the back of the ear like that. It's just a little bit of a shape there. That's gonna work better. Okay. And that hand, I think I'll just turn this hand into overall shape here of something like that. Take out the fingers, you're not going to see them on something this small. Like that there. And yeah, that's bothering me, man. Ugh. What the heck, dude? Why does that piece of hair keep going there? Do something about that piece of hair. It's driving me crazy. All right. Scott, what's up, dude? You're right, Scott. Lucky favors the prepared. That is to say, it's better to be ready for it than hoping it would just happen one day. Right on, bro. Hanging and lurking. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Phoenix Fan Fusion coming up, though. It's coming soon. Trying to get everything ready for it. Let's see here. The trikes and the game trucks will be out. Dude, I'm so stoked, man. It's going to be so fun. I wish I could get someone from my family to come with me because they would have so much fun. But my son, forgot what's going. Oh, my son's graduating tomorrow. Yeah, my son graduates tomorrow from high school, and there's a lot of family in town, and so they'll be here still for another week after. So, because they're coming down for summer and visiting and everything. So it's pretty much impossible for me to get anybody else to go out there with me. So it's looks like it's just going to be me again. But man, it's so much fun. Yeah, man. Corey could come. He might have fun there. He could go check out the convention and stuff too. He wouldn't have to stay with me the whole time or anything. But I do a lot of them on my own. Like I seem to manage fine. But it's always like goes a lot easier if there's like someone else to hang out with. That leg is still weird looking. I'm like hacking away at this leg, trying to get to make some sense. Let's get this thing here. All right, now I'm going to adjust this hand because it's way too big. Make it a shape of some sort. Thing looks weird to me. Boy, I've been redrawing the same stuff over and over again because I can't get it to look the way I want it to. This is a very small thing. So that's really all I need. I'm just overthinking it. And he's going to be holding hands with the baby monkey, so we just need like a thumb here. And that's about it. And then I'll put a paddle on him there. Got to get his electrical bolts on. Hmm. All right. Let's get this underwear. I'm gonna go more like where would the butt cheeks go? You got to ask yourself that question sometimes when you're drawing the backside of a character. It's a question you may not want to be asking, but and yeah, it'd be more like that. Because basically, this guy just wears wrestling trunks. All right, let's do a silhouette shape around him, and I've got this character done. Now, let's see, we've been going for an hour and a half. Time is it now? 6:55 a.m. I want to do some coloring as well. There's so many projects that I need to make progress on. All right, let's see here. All right. One more character, and I'll finished all the characters on this page. Man, this is not as many characters as the last one, but still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I think that was 23. I might have skipped one. But 23 characters on this page, it's a lot. Reinhardt rocking. Get this in here a little bit. All right, let's see here. Let's make another one for Baby Monkey, who is here. I don't even have a semblance of a layout for him, but that's okay. We know that I'm going to have a hand here. Yeah, we could have him doing that. There's a backpack on. There. All right. I've got a semblance of what. I don't know where I picked up that word semblance. Somebody said it a lot, and I took it from them. It's not my own thing. Somewhere else, I picked up this word semblance. But I'm not going to stop saying it. I kind of like it. So whoever was saying that all the time, thank you for giving me that word. All right, this kid's got a dome on his head. So we'll just put that up there. Turn off Brain Monkey. He's making me feel cramped. Just having that big shape there. Pretty cool. Back of the ear. Other ear. Let's drop this into the original sketch. All right. Let's boom, where are we? Outline this thing and I'll drop in some shadows and some rendering. Take a break shortly after this. Eventually I need to make one of those Be Right Back screens, because I can just keep live streaming my whole process while I work, and it's not even about a lot of people watching me do this, but just documenting it all, having the receipts of everything that I've been making. That's pretty cool. I think we're set there. Clean up some of these fragments. All right. Now if we turn on the Brain Monkey, interfering a little bit with these characters. Let's flat them out though, so I know who's who and what's what. So do Rocking first, I guess. So I'll make that one, and I spelled his name wrong. It's Raw King. Throw that in. Layer. This one here. What do we want? It's always like a burgundy. It's a little bit too much. There we go. Evil robot. Get him going. And Baby Monkey. I forgot, did I label the flats, or did I just keep it that? No, I've got to label it. Try to be disciplined about labeling everything, or you will forget what it is. And then you'll be wasting your time clicking things on and off, trying to figure out what's what. And it's the worst. I'm going to have to do that soon on stuff that I didn't color, that other people colored, despite the fact that I've trained them how to color things. They still don't do it right. Make a folder for him. See if we can kind of move these characters a little bit down so that they're not interfering or not going in tangent with the brain monkey. I think we very well can. Select those three. We just kind of drop them to there, you know. Be perfect. I mean, the other option, let me see what it looks like if I do overlap. The other option is to do that. And there's overlap, but then you don't see the whole pose of Baby Monkey. It's already not reading that well, but when it's colored and you see it, you know, you can read it. Oh, man. Go for an hour, 43 minutes. Fix that really quick. Going for an hour, 43 minutes, and all that's left on this page is a background. I should do that tomorrow. I'd like to start it now even. I'm like, oh, let's just start it now, but be better to do it tomorrow. I think tomorrow I could probably knock out the entire background. I might take a break. Go to the next page. Let's see. It's 7:10. Hour 45. Maybe I should take a break really quick and then I'll move on to the next page. Not the next page. I'm going to color my collectible card game, format pages so I can build my battle pack. That's everything that I got to do. But yeah, right now I'm thinking I might go eat a bowl of cereal because I am flipping hungry. I don't know. I could cook an egg. This is going to be a great page, though, when it's done. Very much happy with it so far. what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the live, take a break, and then I'll jump back on for the second half, and I'm gonna try and go like another 2 hours or another hour and 40 minutes. So I will be back in about a half an hour.